You see someone driving an expensive car, wearing designer clothes, posting photos of their vacation on social media, and you think they must be wealthy. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Looking rich and being rich are two completely different things. In fact, they're often opposites. The people who actually build lasting wealth rarely look the way you think they should. If you want to stop wasting money on the appearance of success and start building actual financial security, this video is going to change how you think about money forever. If you're interested in real wealth building strategies, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these insights. Let's start with the most dangerous trap, the lifestyle inflation trap. When you make more money, the immediate temptation is to upgrade everything. You buy a bigger house, a nicer car, fancier clothes. You tell yourself you deserve it. And sure, you do deserve nice things. But what you're really doing is anchoring your expenses to your income. The moment your income dips, you're in trouble. You've built a lifestyle that requires your peak earnings just to maintain. This is exactly backwards from how wealthy people think. Wealthy people understand something fundamental. Your net worth grows in the gap between what you earn and what you spend. This gap is everything. It's not about making a six-figure income if you're spending $105,000. It's not about getting a raise if you immediately increase your lifestyle. The wealthy obsess over this gap. They think about it constantly. They protect it fiercely. Consider this. Someone making $80,000 a year who saves 30% of their income will build more wealth than someone making $200,000 a year who saves 5%. The math is brutal and unforgiving. It doesn't care about your income. It only cares about the gap between earnings and expenses. Now, why do people try to look rich in the first place? It usually comes down to status. We want others to perceive us a certain way. We want respect, admiration, maybe envy. We think looking successful will make us feel successful. It's a psychological shortcut. But here's what actually happens. The people you're trying to impress are usually too busy worrying about their own image to notice yours. And the people worth impressing judge you on your character and competence, not your watch or your car. There's a famous study about millionaires. Most of them don't wear expensive watches. Most of them don't drive luxury vehicles. Most of them shop at regular stores. They look ordinary because they understand something you might not yet. Every dollar spent on appearance is a dollar that doesn't compound. You're either investing it in your future or investing it in someone else's perception of you. Let's talk about the real cost of looking rich. When you buy that designer handbag for $3,000, you're not just spending $3,000. You're spending the future value of that $3,000. If you invested it instead at an average market return of 10% annually, that single purchase costs you over $3,000 in lost wealth over 10 years. Over 30 years, it costs you $30,000. One handbag, $30,000 in future wealth. Now multiply that by all the designer clothes, the fancy dinners, the luxury accessories. You're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost wealth. This is the power of compound interest working against you. Most people understand compound interest in theory. They nod along when someone explains it, but they don't really feel it. They don't grasp that their daily spending decisions are literally stealing from their future selves. That expensive coffee every morning? It's not $5. It's $500 in lost wealth over 30 years. The dinner out instead of cooking at home? It's not $50. It's $500 in lost future wealth. So what should you actually be doing? First, you need to get honest about your spending. Write down everything you spend for 1 month. Everything. Every coffee, every subscription, every clothing purchase. Look at it. Most people are shocked. They have no idea where their money actually goes. You can't change what you don't measure. Second, separate your needs from your wants and be ruthless about it. A car gets you from point A to point B. A luxury car gets you from point A to point B while impressing people at stoplights. The difference is pure status spending. Housing is a need. A mansion is a want. Food is a need. Expensive restaurants are a want. Once you see this clearly, you can make intentional choices instead of defaulting to lifestyle inflation. Third, automate your savings. The best way to protect that gap between earnings and expenses is to never see the money in the first place. Set up automatic transfers to a separate savings account the day you get paid. Pay yourself first. The money you don't see, you won't spend. Fourth, find your real money leaks. There's usually one or two categories where most people hemorrhage money without realizing it. For some people, it's food and restaurants. For others, it's shopping. For others, it's entertainment or subscriptions. Find yours. You probably already know what it is. You feel a little guilty every time you spend in that category. That's your signal. That's where you have the most opportunity to change your behavior. Now, I want to be clear about something. Building wealth doesn't mean living like a pauper. It doesn't mean never enjoying your money. It means being intentional. It means spending on things that actually matter to you and saying no to everything else. Some people love cars. If that's you, maybe you spend more on a car and less on clothing. Some people love travel. Maybe you save aggressively for a few years so you can take an amazing trip, then you go back to saving. That's fine. The key is intention, not deprivation. But what you can't do is spend on everything. You can't have the luxury car and the designer wardrobe and the expensive vacations and the fancy dinners and still build real wealth. You have to choose. And the people who choose wisely are the ones who end up actually wealthy. Here's something else that wealthy people do. They invest in things that appreciate or generate income. They don't just save money in a checking account. They put it in the stock market, real estate, or their own businesses. They understand that inflation eats away at savings. Money sitting in a bank account loses purchasing power every single year. But money invested in assets grows. Over time, the invested money dramatically outpaces the saved money. Start small if you need to. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You can open a brokerage account with $50. You can buy fractional shares of stocks. You can invest in low-cost index funds that track the entire market. The key is to start and to be consistent. Invest automatically every month. Don't try to time the market. Don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Just start. Another thing wealthy people do, they educate themselves about money. They read books about investing and personal finance. They listen to podcasts. They learn about taxes and retirement accounts and different investment strategies. They understand that financial literacy is one of the highest returning investments they can make. If you don't understand money, you'll always be at the mercy of people who do. They'll sell you products you don't need. They'll convince you that spending is investing. Let me give you an example. Someone making $50,000 a year decides to educate themselves about money. They learn about tax-advantaged retirement accounts. They learn about the power of compound interest. They learn about living below their means. They make some changes. They save 20% of their income. $30,000 over 30 years at 10% returns becomes $320,000. That person is now wealthier than someone who made $200,000 a year but saved nothing. Education created that wealth difference, not income. Here's the other part that's crucial. You have to actually believe that you can build wealth. A lot of people grow up in environments where wealth seems impossible. Their parents didn't have money. Nobody in their family built wealth, so they assume they can't either. But that's not how it works. You don't need to come from money to build money. You need discipline, patience, and time. Those are free. You might be young right now, and you might think you have plenty of time. You do. But time is also the only thing you can't get back. The earlier you start investing, the more powerful compound interest becomes. Someone who starts investing at 25 will have dramatically more wealth at 65 than someone who starts at 35, even if the person starting at 35 invests more money each year. Time is your greatest asset when you're young. Don't waste it. On the flip side, if you're not young anymore, don't use that as an excuse to give up. You still have time. You can still make a difference. Every year you wait is a year less of compound interest, but that's a reason to start immediately, not a reason to wait longer. Let's talk about social pressure, because that's real and it's powerful. When you start saving money and building wealth, some people won't understand. They'll think you're cheap. They'll invite you to expensive events and judge you when you decline. They'll upgrade their lifestyle and expect you to upgrade yours. You have to be okay with that. You have to decide that building your future is more important than looking good right now. This is actually a useful filter. The people who judge you for not spending money they don't have aren't your people anyway. The wealthiest people I know are often the ones who seem the most ordinary. They wear regular clothes, they drive regular cars, they don't talk about money much, but behind the scenes, their net worth is growing. Their investments are compounding. Their future is secure. They're not stressed about money because they've made the choices that eliminate stress. You probably know people like this too. Maybe it's an older relative, or a friend's parent, or a colleague. They seem to have their life together. They're not flashy, but they seem calm about money. That calmness comes from discipline and smart choices over time. You can have that too. So here's what I want you to do after this video. First, write down your actual spending for the next month. Be honest. Second, identify one category where you're spending money on appearance or status. Third, commit to cutting that by 50%. Fourth, set up automatic savings transfers. Fifth, open an investment account if you don't have one, and put that 50% savings into it. Start with that. Those 5 things will change your financial trajectory. You don't need to look rich to be rich. In fact, looking rich makes it much harder to become rich. Every dollar you spend trying to impress people is a dollar that doesn't compound. Every choice to buy something for status is a choice to delay your financial freedom. The people who actually build wealth understand this. They've made peace with looking ordinary so that they can be extraordinary with their money. This isn't about being miserable or never enjoying anything. It's about being intentional. It's about understanding the real cost of your choices. It's about knowing that your future self will thank you for the sacrifices you make today. That's what actual wealth is built on. Not on looking good, but on delayed gratification, compound interest, and smart choices made consistently over time. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel. We talk about money, investing, and building real wealth, not the fake kind you show off on social media.